I wasn't one of the receivers I just sent, but my issue was chronic depression since my service in the final year of the war in Vietnam, which was a huge event in my life, needless to say.
And life didn't go really to plan.
No.
From the time, you had some big dreams, right?
I did, yeah. I was going to college at the time, but they had done away with student deferments, and I had a really low lottery number. And so I remember my campus self. I had a lot of dreams and hopes. And somehow the prospect of being drafted just made me give that all up. It was like I went into survival mode, just to make it through wartime. And then my life after that, when I came home, seemed to continue in patterns more of darkness or suffering and even death to a surprising extent. My life just went on, and it felt like an exercise in survival for years. One bright spot was my marriage to my second wife, which was quite wonderful, but she came down with a fast-moving cancer, and I lost her, which was a really tough blow. And in response to that, I had to make money to pay the medical bills, so I got into long-distance trucks, lived in trucks for 5 years. I had no house. Imagine how depressing that was. Anyway, finally I retired a few years ago, and that pattern of depression has continued. But one positive in my life is my church, and through them, I made contact with the opportunity to try your experience. I have a positive feeling about spiritual things. I was raised in a spiritual family, but at the same time, I didn't know. I just released it. Mainly, I wanted to focus on the other people. I wanted to do my best to send good energy to them. And I know I've heard people say that you get a benefit from participating. So I just hope for the best and did my best for the receivers. I felt the energy running through our hands. I felt the vibrations in the room change. I felt a very sort of special atmosphere was being created. I don't know, high vibration, very pure, little piece of heaven, call it what you want. But there was something that seemed to me that there was something special in that room. I went to bed, and the next morning when I woke up, it was an amazing thing. The first thing I felt was this energy. It was like the wheels are moving. It's like I can do what I need to do and do it happily. The second thing is amazingly heightened sensory awareness, as well as the emotions that go with the sensations. Like I had a cup of herbal tea, and it like knocked my socks off. It's like, wow. And even like doing the dishes was, I could feel the self-love. We all think, well, it's wonderful to take care of yourself, and this is an act of self-love and self-care, and it's easy to think that, but to feel it, the chores are actually fun. And I noticed, went outside a little bit, and I noticed flowers and trees are just so beautiful. It's like all my senses were multiplied by, 5 or 10. And one of the surprising things too is I definitely had got in the habit of avoiding people. I tried to minimize my social contact, and now it's like when I see someone coming, it's like I automatically feel enjoyment. It's like it just happens so fast. I don't have time to think about it. Here's a person. Wow, how are you? And these good feelings come so quickly and so easily. When I went to bed that night, now this is the second night after the experience, I woke up in the morning with a clear memory of the most lucid dream, is what a rational person would call it. I call it a vision. It was so clear and powerful. I found myself back on the campus that I was at where I was drafted, and where I sweated that out, and there was a chapel there that I always liked, and I walked past it every day, and it's like maybe the only sacred space on that campus. And this is not easy to describe. My 19-year-old self was waiting for me, and I felt the most powerful emotions of love and connection and joy. It's like all of his high hopes, all of his beautiful dreams, all of his optimism, all of his youthful energy. You know, it's like, wow. Somehow I left all that behind, you know, in that trauma, in that when I dropped into survival mode just to take my draft physical, and God help me, you know, I guess I left that behind. But to meet him again, and he's been waiting there so patiently for me, and it's like, I got it back. Now with my experience and wisdom and strength and toughness, and, you know, his optimism and hope and joy, it's like, hey, I get to start life all over again at 65. I've done a lot of work over the years, but this is the most phenomenal, the most powerful, and the most direct.